This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. Oh, look at it, got dark in here. Hold on a second. Wow, crazy. Oh, there you go. Gotta see if I can get this, hold on a second. Hopefully it doesn't make some weird noises. Yeah, hey, Laughing Hawk, I just cover what I feel like covering. Okay, thanks. And usually I'm suspicious of people when they want to be a mod and they haven't even been here for a long time. Just let you know. Okay? When you show up and you go, hey, it's great, I want to be a mod. Like, and you haven't even been here in a while. Eh, a little weird, gotta be honest. Alright, let me see if I can get this, Alright. I'm trying to open up this, my sound effect program. Wait, here, I know how to do it. I have to go turn some things off. Oops. Alright. Hold on, I gotta reset this program. Voice mod. Okay. God, there's so many things moving around, it's crazy. Alright. Now I'll try to open it up again, see what happens. Might take a second. The slowest start in history. Okay, here it goes. A lot of times when it starts, it does this crazy thing where it echoes back and well, how's everybody doing tonight? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Laughing Hawk. No idea. Okay. Not sure what happened. The sound effects went away, but I gotta have my sound effects. You know, my back is about 50% better than yesterday. A couple stretches make it feel pretty good, so every once in a while I'm gonna have to get up and stretch. Alright, what's going on here? I don't hear it. Wait, there we go. Oh, there we go. Okay. Alright, so it was working. Were you guys able to hear any of the music at all when the show started? I hope so. Yeah, I can tell, Laughing Hawk. So hey, Laughing Hawk, just pay attention to the show. You're diverting attention to yourself. I can see that already happening. And first of all, I want to say everybody put out some prayers for Shih Tzu Mom. She's struggling with some health issues, and everybody put out some good thoughts there. All right. She's on my Facebook. Brady's Investigate. She made a post in there, so you might want to check it out. But everybody put out some positive vibes for Shih Tzu Mom. All right. Awesome. Okay. And then also Tim Miller, he put out a let's see, ABC 13 put out a video.
EquiSearch sits hidden behind a busy road in Dickinson. Inside, a binder full of missing persons cases, some closed, others still open, including the case of Laura Miller, Tim Miller's daughter. She was abducted and murdered in 1984.
You know what? We don't know what life deals us at times. After Laura's disappearance and body found, I thought that was the end of the world for me. But, it started a new world. It's something I never ever thought that I'd be involved in.
In 2000, Miller founded EquiSearch.
It's like coming out of one ear. So.
Since then, they've conducted more than 1,800 searches in 42 states and 11 countries. All the cases and searches take a toll.
I do get emotionally attached.
Miller doesn't take a break either. He's always going. But last month, he was forced to pause.
It was scary, to say the least. I was having some really big dizzy spells. I thought it was from a neck surgery I had years ago, but what was happening, his arteries were plugged up and blood was not flowing.
Tim had 2 immediate procedures for that. It followed 2 other recent procedures for his back.
I had 2 big back operations this year that I'm far from recovering from, and then I had these heart problems. Unfortunately, I'm human. When I was in that hospital, it was like I was going into a depression I did not want to go into, and it was like, is this the end of the line for me? And EquiSearch, am I going to be able to do this anymore?
Once the community learned he was in the hospital, the support he'd given so many over the years, he got in return.
And all the support and everything gave me a kind of shot in the arm.
That sounds what it is.
Kind of fight on this one. I need to fight a little bit harder because I'm not done.
2 weeks later, he was back at it, out searching, continuing the mission he started 21 years ago for Laura and all the families who are seeking answers and support.
I guess there is a purpose for Tim Miller.
Marla Carter, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
There sure is, buddy. Yeah, Tim Miller is, he's the shit. All right, yeah, so that audio right there was coming out of the right ear, as I explained, and if you can't figure out how to do it on your end, then I don't have anything I can do for you. Okay, that means you're just technically unable to do it. The audio was way above the threshold from on the right ear. Okay, excellent. Yeah, so Tim Miller's back out there, already driving boats around and doing his thing. Suffering makes you suffer in your mind. Well, of course it does. Let's see. All right, I'm just going to get onto this story here. I think it's Aleta Sue Grosenbach. Or Grosenbach, I don't really know. There's nobody out there to say it out loud. Thanks, Brianna Props. I actually saw I think I saw somebody with that same name in a newspaper article. Yeah, it's cool. That he's feeling better. He was feeling better a while ago, but they finally, now there's an actual news story on it. Okay, here we go, everybody. I'm just going to try to, every once in a while I'm going to have to stand up, do some stretches, and that kind of thing. Definitely better than it was yesterday, though. Yesterday I could barely walk. It was crazy. After the show, and then I put like little ice underneath me, and then heat and ice. Took 800 milligrams of ibuprofen every 6 hours or so. And it seemed like it kind of helped get. I think it's this one muscle actually that shortens up if you sit too much. Boy, I don't sit very much at all. And so you have to do these stretches. And it seems like when I do these stretches that go the other direction, it feels so much better. Yeah, it got hurt when I sneezed. Like it was a little bit sore. And I was like, I was trying to be careful. And then I sneezed and it just went, oh, and it was just horrible. Wow, Stacy. Thank you. Let me see if I can catch that. Well, if it doesn't catch it, it said, thank you for everything you do, Gray. You're like Superman and on here, even when you're not feeling well. You do so many wonderful things for so many people. You're the best. Love you and the Freaks. It's such a fantastic family. Love you all so much. Well, we all love you too. Stacy, the legendary writer. And her book's always, it's remained in the description of every one of my videos. Remember when she came on? I don't know if some of you might be new, but we did a 3-part series, maybe 4, on the Dyatlov Pass mystery. And she wrote a book on it, and it's a really cool book. You can get it on Amazon and everything. It's it's got a ton of pictures in it, so you feel like you're right there. I think that's important. It's called Death of 9, the Dyatlov Pass mystery. And no, she didn't tell me to do that. I just remembered. But it's always in the description, so. Hey, thank you, Lori Fisher. Yeah. It's been kind of a crazy... I'm just starting to... I think after I get recovered from this, things will start getting better. Yeah, cool, Max, see? That was fun.
Sorry for your pain, Gray.
Alright, so here we go. And thank you, Lori Fisher. All out hunt for lost girl. So she went missing on the 14th of August, 1976. An exhaustive search by authorities. There's no pictures of her in any of the articles either. So, and by the way, like someone sends in $100 or 20 people send in 5, it's all the same. Okay. So I really appreciate that when I say all the same, I mean those really large ones make it so it's easier to hit the goal, right? But everybody's contributions have the same percentage at the end of the month that go to the charities. Okay, so it doesn't matter that aspect of it. And if you don't have the funds, I don't want you helping, donating like that. I'd rather have you be able to do, pay your bills or something like that. But if you can help out, then I appreciate it. And I've said that multiple times, so I hope people will understand that. All right, so here we go. It's kind of a weird story. A lot of weirdness in this thing. And I only see that because of the titles that when I'm saving out the documents. Okay, and then at some point, when I'm done with this, we can do like a call-in. Maybe you can talk about this if you want to. You can talk about anything you feel like it, even that case that we covered earlier in the week. The I think it was Blake and what the heck was that one? I can't remember that. Where the hell is it? Oh, there it is. The Blake and China Dickus. Dickus. That one. And that was the case where there's absolutely no information at all. Basically, they were just in a new subdivision, and she was a stepmom. She's 23. I think he was what was he, 10? And the dad was 33, but he was at work, and they were both brutally murdered. And we showed on the map how when they lived there, there was only like 7 or 8 houses, and then there was 30 something. No, that wasn't it, Matt. Sorry, I just explained to you what it was. Hey, thanks, LN. Or Matt Jen's mom. I don't even know. News on Timmy? What does that even mean? I don't get it. Let's see. No, I mean, we have a character named Timmy. Who's Timmy though? Huh? News on Timmy? Huh? What does that mean? Just type in what the news is. Okay, I'm not going to be going over there, so just tell me what the news is. Oh, Timmy, Paul Murdoch. Yeah, okay, well, we got a character, you know. Wasn't sure what you were talking about. Yeah, Paul is Timmy when he drinks. Yeah, that's who it is. I just didn't know what they were talking about right then. You know, we haven't been talking about the Murdoch case for like a week. So what was the news? Just type in a sentence. Everybody wanted to talk about that, so we're just waiting now. You got the information? Hey, Van, how about I'll just do whatever the hell I want to do, okay? See you later, buddy. You only get one shot. Yeah, hey, Beatrice, how about you let me tell the story? Thank you. We've gone over that 1,000 times. Hey, thanks, Kit Kat. So what was the news on Paul's movements?
Watching Grey with the boyfriend, heart.
Yes. Okay, let's see. Hold on. I actually have a subscription to Fitz News. Yeah, but there's movements on the night of the crash. Oh, that's crazy. They actually have surveillance footage on the bridge. Is this what you guys are talking about? Oh,
I hear whistles.
There he is buying the beer. Oh, I'm wondering. I bet you that looks exactly how. Let's see this. Watch this. Hold on a second. Just for the hell of it, I'm gonna go to the map now. I just want to see how close we were to the. Just want to check. Oh yeah. Oh, this is exactly the same. Okay, so that's that island right there. Yeah, I mean, look at this. We've got the Bulky Island. There it is. Boom, 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 boom. Then it goes down this direction. Hey, thank you, Matt. All you gotta do is watch my show. We had it. Awesome.
Whistle while you work. Kissing face. _ basic boom : _ basic boom : _ basic boom.
Oh yeah, we got the beer. We're gonna get on that boat. Yeah, we basically had the exact same map. Isn't that awesome? Wow, thanks, Amber Maiden. And Mag. Covered in a pond. Yeah, he was. No, Stephen
High
Smith.
dollar freak wave because we love what you do, Gray.
Yeah, Stephen Smith. Let's see. Oh well, thank you very much, Amber. Stephen Smith's car was found on a road. We've already gone over that. That wasn't debunked. I don't know who said that. We never said that. Wow, thank you guys. Amazing. Let's see. Thank you, Rita Schaefer. Ria Mazzarone. What did I do, you guys? What did I do today? I wasn't even mean.
That's why, Gray, that's why.
Well, I was a little mean. No, I mean, you got one troll showing up when I was whistling. I was just waiting for the... We'll have to go... I'll check that out a little bit later. Charles O. and Charles Namey and all the other Carolinas that are in here. But it's the same map, it looks like, that we've got. Because we pinpointed everything when we... But I think it'll be even more specific, so I'll go check it out. It's pretty sweet, though, that they actually got the surveillance footage. Pretty amazing, really, huh? Oh, and that's the drawing of who was where. Okay, so we'll do this one tomorrow. Well, let's see. Tomorrow's the Delphi thing. Maybe we can do an earlier show tomorrow just on this article. What do you guys think? Thank you, Angela Vincent. Maybe Sunshine. And Cat Lover 33. So they have Paul driving. It looks like that's the steering wheel. Yeah, that's crazy. Chewbacca!
Chewbacca? Oh, I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to.
Or I guess maybe later we can go over this. Hold on. Alright, there we go. Got that in a folder and ready to go for later. Alright. If we have time later, we'll get to that. Although maybe I don't have to do the call-in. Unless there's anybody out there that really had something they wanted to call in about. Thank you, Allie Cake. Wow, what's going on, you guys? Thank you. All right. It looks like that's pretty interesting, though. So thanks for... It's so weird. I kept thinking, you guys are going to think this is crazy, but I actually forgot the connection between Timmy and Paul because we've got our character now that was named after that Timmy. So in my mind, I was like, Timmy? What does Timmy got to do with anything? That's right. What do I have to do with anything?
Yeah, Gray, what does he have to do with anything?
Yeah. So I was literally like, Timmy, he's the character. Oh my God. That's horrible. Wow. That's pretty sad, really, at that point. He became so integral. It'd be like if there was a case about Mary Lou and you said, what about Mary Lou, Gray? Mary Lou. You know, there's no way in hell I'd think of the case, right? I mean. Okay, so here we go. You guys ready for this one? There's this crazy investigator that shows up in it too. He's just, I think it's sick. Alright, here we go. All-out hunt for lost girl. An exhaustive search by authorities, neighborhood volunteers, and citizen band radio operators continue today for a 9-year-old girl missing since Saturday. And hold on a second. Let me go all the way to the top. Thank you, Lori Fisher, LM, Kit Kat, Stacy was ahead of that, Juju Positive, Mag, Amber Maiden, Rita Schaefer, Rhea Mazzarone, Maybe Sunshine, Angela Vincent, Cat Lover 33, Allie Cake, and there you go. So thank you guys again. That was a great wave there. So, neighborhood volunteers and citizen band radio operators continue today the search for a 9-year-old girl missing since Saturday. Aleta Sue Grosenbach disappeared after leaving her grandmother's home in the Bird Rock area. Let me see if I got that right. I actually found her. She died in 1995, the grandmother. And I think I actually found... It was crazy. It was actually on a site. So, let's see. Yeah. Oh wait, that's not in that. It's right here. This is the actual address. Right here. And when now they mention a neighborhood, let's see, Bird Rock area of South La Jolla. Let's see, Bird, right there. And if it's right around here, well, look at it, it's not even moving hardly. So that's got to be the house. I mean, that's just, it was the only one listed in La Jolla to her. And so that would have been right there. It looks like that probably hasn't changed much at all since then. Okay, so Aleta Sue Grosenbach disappeared after leaving her grandmother's home in the Bird Rock area, South La Jolla, to buy a paper at a nearby shopping center, authorities said Sunday. The girl and her mother, Judith Grosenbach, I think it's, what do you guys think? Grosenbach, probably? Of Kankakee, Illinois, had been visiting the child's grandmother since June. So they came there just for the summer to visit. So some of these articles are from Illinois, some are from... Oh man, one of my folders got shut down, so I got to open it back up. All right. Okay, moving on to the next one. That was from August 16th, that article. And then the next one, and she went missing on the 14th. This is the 17th. Police and sheriff officers, lifeguards, and dozens of volunteers continued an exhaustive search of La Jolla's cliffs and canyons for a 9-year-old Illinois girl missing since Saturday. Aleta Sue Grosenbach vanished after leaving her grandmother's home in the Bird Rock area of South La Jolla to buy a newspaper at a nearby shopping center. Kenneth O'Brien, coordinator of search operations, said, "We haven't ruled out a single thing. That's our problem. We have nothing to go on." The child and her mother, Judith Grosenbach of Kankakee, Illinois, had been visiting in La Jolla since June. Police said the girl, when last seen, was wearing white shorts, a flowered t-shirt, and sandals. That was the 17th. Then on the 18th, what do you think that is? Kankakee, or wait, see, Kankakee, maybe. Illinois girl found dead near San Diego. A body identified by police as that of a missing 9-year-old Illinois girl has been discovered in a desolate area of the city. Homicide officers said the body of Aleta Sue Grosenbach was noticed Tuesday evening by a motorist who had stopped along the roadside to pick up a piece of wood. Homicide Lieutenant Kankakee? Okay, Kankakee. Is that what you're saying? Okay. Homicide Lieutenant Charles Childers said the body was about 50 feet down an embankment against a clump of dense vegetation and was nude except for underpants. Childers said the girl's sandals wrapped in her her sandals were wrapped in her shirt, and they were found near the body. So like they were, somebody rolled them up and threw them over there. Police say they were not able to give a cause of death at this point in the investigation. The body was found a mile east of Scripps Ranch and 4 miles east of Interstate 15. The location is about 23 miles from where the girl disappeared. Police said Aleta had left the La Jolla area, home of her grandmother, Saturday evening to buy a newspaper. A massive search involving more than 300 men was waged during the weekend. The hunt was downgraded Tuesday when it was learned the girl was unhappy away from Illinois and might be attempting to return. So they thought maybe she was running away. Oh, 9-year-old, really? Come on. Aleta, her 19-month-old brother, and their widowed mother, Judith Grosenbach of Illinois, I'm just going to say, has been visiting in La Jolla for about 2 months. People are so crazy. They want me to stop the show and answer a question if I've covered something. Let's just follow this one now, and when we're done, maybe you can ask the same question. Alright, so services slated for Slain Girl. And my back's sore, so I'm going to be extra cranky for those kind of comments, okay? A memorial service will be held Friday afternoon for a 9-year-old Illinois girl found slain in a rural area of San Diego. Hey, hold on a second. Are you still here, Amber Maiden? Or did you disappear right after you or are you just listening? I'm always look for, there's certain people's comments that just sort of pop up. And yeah, that's what I thought, Mama Bear. I think I remember you from before. Good luck. Memorial service will be held Friday afternoon for a 9-year-old Illinois girl found slain in a rural area of San Diego. The victim was Aleta Sue Grosenbach from Illinois, who became the subject of an intensive search when she failed to return to her grandmother's home after going to the store for a newspaper. Police said the child was murdered, but the exact cause of death would take several days to determine. The girl's body was found Tuesday in a ravine 23 miles from her grandmother's home in La Jolla. Aleta, her 19-month-old brother, and their widowed mother, Judith Grosenbach, had been visiting at the time. I'm just going through these in order of date. Alright, so let me go to the 20th now. This is 1976. And these are actual newspaper clippings that I went through. You know, it took me a couple hours, but I went and got all the way up until they stopped having newspaper articles on the case. All right, San Diego police say they have developed some physical evidence in the slaying of a 9-year-old Illinois girl. Lieutenant Charles Schilder of the Police Homicide Bureau declined Thursday to discuss the evidence in the slaying of Aleta Sue Grosenbach of Illinois, but branded the case a sex murder. It would have to be for anybody to do this type of thing. Aleta went to purchase a newspaper at a La Jolla area store Saturday evening and never returned. Her body, clad only in undershorts, was found in a ravine 23 miles away late Tuesday. So I actually have that. So this is where she left to go buy a newspaper from. Let's see if there's anything. I don't know. You know, this is so long ago. There could have been any direction. There could have been a store. But right there is where she left, and then she was found, her body, up here, and it was apparently 1 mile east of Scripps Ranch, but 4 miles from I-5, so it's somewhere right around in here. And believe it or not, the whole state of California, with roads all over the place, this is so remote that even then, I mean even now, they haven't done Street View on it, which is really amazing to me. So they said down an embankment, so I wonder, you know, it's hard to know exactly where this took place. It would have been on this side most likely then, but it doesn't look like it's, well, okay, right there it gets pretty steep. You'd have to look at it from Street View. I find it really strange that out of all, well, you know, look at it, it'd be kind of weird to get to it because you'd have to drive like that. But that's where she was found, right there. Coroner Robert Creason confirmed the girl had been sexually molested, but said it could be up to 2 weeks before an official ruling is made. Aleta, her 19-month-old brother, and their widowed mother, Judith Grosenbach, had been spending the summer in La Jolla. Then August 22nd, police are tracing the murders. And there's multiple murders, I think, at this point. Police are following the threads of numerous bits of evidence in the apparent sex slaying of Aleta Sue Grosenbach, 9, the 5th murder victim found in the Poway vicinity in the past 2 years, and a 3rd this year. Like Aleta Sue, who was visiting her grandmother in La Jolla when abducted August 14th, 4 of the 5 victims were brought from more urban areas and disposed of along more rural North County roads. Hey, thanks, Shelly Ann. Yeah, well, there was so much more detail in newspapers than, I mean, look at now when somebody does a news article, like a Fox News does a, or even your local news does a story on a case. They don't have anywhere near the details that the newspapers did back then. I'm not saying this particular case has a ton of details, but let's see. And like their murder remains unsolved. So there's a whole bunch of these other unsolved. We're certainly looking into the possibility that there might be a connection, but I want to stress that at this point there's no evidence that there is any connection. Kurt Ring, a sergeant with the county homicide unit, said basically the same thing. We have discussed our cases and experiences in the area with the police, and we're cooperating fully. Yeah, so anyways, they're trying to compare it to a couple other different cases. Let's see. There was another case mentioned. I don't know if it was this article though. But chance can work the other way too. The half-naked body of Grosenbach girl was discovered late Tuesday afternoon, August 17th, about 50 feet down an embankment along a lonely stretch of Pomerado Road between Scripps Ranch and Poway. She had been missing since late Saturday afternoon, August 14th. Let me see where Poway is. Okay, yeah, that was a terrible description. That's way over here. She had been missing since late Saturday afternoon, August 14th, when walking out of her grandmother's La Jolla home to buy a newspaper. Body was spotted by a motorist. The motorist said he had stopped to pick up a piece of wood by the side of the road. Schilder said that the girl had been raped and that sexual attack is the apparent motive. He said his team is working with a variety of physical and other evidence which he declined to specify. An autopsy disclosed that the girl's death came within a few hours of when her mother filled a missing persons report. And that's probably because the coroner asked the mother if she'd eaten anything, and then they checked the contents of her stomach, and they could tell by that how digested that food was. But the county coroner office has not been able to establish a cause of death. Police have confirmed that a 24-year-old San Diego man taken into custody Saturday morning, August 21st, in connection with the kidnapping and molestation of an 8-year-old East San Diego girl is being questioned in connection with the Grosenbach murder. The suspect reportedly forced the East San Diego girl at knife point to a nearby canyon where he succeeded in molesting her before being discovered by the girl's father and neighbor. Or the girl's father and a neighbor. Ring said that another child killing, that of 7-year-old Patty Lee Kuzara on September 28, 1974, has contributed to what he sees as the Poway area's unfounded reputation as a dumping ground for murder victims. The Kuzara, that case is still unsolved too. I actually made a folder for it. I haven't looked at it yet. Patty had telephoned her mother at about 6:30 p.m. that day, and had been instructed to walk from her babysitter's house to her parents' Putney Road home in Poway. She never arrived. The following morning, 3 teenage boys were walking to church through a field near Midland Road when they came across her body a scant 2 blocks from her home. She had been bludgeoned to death. Deputies said that an angle iron that was found days later was the probable source of her multiple head injuries. They also said that the condition of her clothing... This is another case though, but you kind of wonder what's going on here. Indicated the possibility of sexual molestation. They concluded that she had been killed within a few hours of being abducted. The Poway girl's killing touched off emotions that now prevail in La Jolla. About 2 weeks after the Kuzara killing on Thursday, October 17, 1974, the nude body of an 18-year-old San Diego, I was just looking at the date, City College co-ed Jackie Lynn Cardioid was found in a brush-covered area about 3 miles northeast of Poway. She was found by a property owner who reportedly was hunting for a survey stake. The locale was 1/2 mile west of the intersection of State Route 67 and Mini Del Oro Road. The coroner was never able to establish a cause of death. Ring said of the case, the Cardioid girl was last seen October 13th, 1974. No suspects were apprehended. And let's see, early Saturday, April 23rd, 1976, a Marine stationed at Miramar Naval Air Station was driving to work from Poway along Poway Road when he spotted the body of Margaret Ann Agawa, 20, near a gate of a local sewage plant a few feet from the road. Hold on, let me type that one in. Murder of Margaret Ann Agawa. Oh, is that what they're saying? California. All I can recall is that I don't know if that one's been solved either. Crazy. The activity investigation into Agawa case was called off about 3 months after her murder when all of the homicide detail leads dried up. As with Kazara and Cardioid cases, authorities can pursue the incidents further only when and if new evidence emerges. The cases are listed as open. A fifth victim on August 2nd, 1976. So that's very close to the time of Aleta Sue Grosenbach. The body was lying in brush about 30 feet from the car, which was found to had nothing to do with the case. David Clinton Hobbs, 14, of San Diego, had been stabbed repeatedly and bludgeoned about the head. Deputies said he had been dead for 2 weeks or more. He was reported missing on Saturday, July 17th. Yeah, a lot of shit was going on in California back then, I'll tell you that. Serial Killer Central. I mean, if you wanted to be cool in school, you were a serial killer. California back in the 70s. Alright, now we're back on the 27th of August. 5 police detectives are working 7 days a week in the unsolved killing of Aleta Sue Grosenbach. The girl disappeared August 14th when she went to buy a newspaper at the stand near her grandmother's home. Her body, clad only in shorts, was found at the bottom of a steep incline several miles away. Uh-oh. I think the Adobe shut down, had an error on it for some reason. It was an out-and-out child molestation, Police Lieutenant Charles Schilder said. Alright, then on 1976, August 28th, so now we're only about 12 days after, 14 days after the murder. Autopsy indicates slain Illinois girl had been suffocated. Extensive tests have failed to establish the exact cause of death of 9-year-old Aleta Sue Grosenbach, whose body was found August 17th. There were strong indications the girl was suffocated in some manner, but we are unable to prove it. The Illinois girl disappeared August 14th after leaving her grandmother's home in the Bird Rock area. You know, it's weird, there isn't like a ton of the detail part of it. And there's no pictures of her. Normally you have a picture of the girl. And it's weird because this whole article here is about photographs. But listen to how sad this is right here. Listen. The colored photos Phyllis Evans got back from the photo store last week were typical family fare. A grandmother and a mother sitting on either side of a small girl celebrating her 9th birthday. The pictures were taken July 16th, but as Mrs. Evans explained, you know how you put those things off? The joy evident in that family picture has been wiped away by the kidnapping and murder of birthday girl 9-year-old Aleta Sue Grosenbach. So imagine you know that these pictures are being developed and you're going to get them. In some ways they're great because they're the last images and they're all happy, but it's like, oh man, it'd be sad. I think it'd be kind of cool, and it'd be cool to get them, but you know, sad right away, but then you'd be happy you had them later, I would think. It has been nearly 2 months now since Aleta was sent 1.5 blocks from her La Jolla grandmother's house to buy an afternoon newspaper. And the grandmother probably feels guilty forever. Her body was found 2 days later alongside a road 23 miles away. Her mother, Judith Grosenbach, has returned to her home in Illinois. The grandmother, Mrs. Evans, is back at work in her real estate office at the San Diego, and the San Diego police say they are still giving the case a high priority. Miss Evans has time now to ponder the many aspects of the case which so far has defied solution by a San Diego detective. Right now, about the only thing we have to go on is the fund, she explained. She was referring to a reward fund established by the La Jolla Real Estate Brokers Association, a fund which has reached $3,500, which Miss Evans says isn't enough to get anyone to squeal. She is working to get that reward fund increased. They brought in another $125. The Aleta Sue Grosenbach abduction and murder is not yet yesterday's news until whoever committed this dastardly deed is apprehended. What did you see on August 14th after 4:20 p.m.? Just because you were not in the Bird Rock area of La Jolla does not mean you may not have very valuable information in the day of instant transportation. Miss Evans remembers well that Saturday afternoon in August, Aleta Sue was on her way to buy a newspaper, and Mrs. Evans was talking with Aleta's mother and her sister. All of a sudden, I looked at my watch, she recalls, and all three of us jumped up at once and wondered where Aleta was. See, you know what's weird about that? That's almost like a hot car death situation. You know, she went to the store to go get newspaper, and then they were all sitting around, totally distracted, talking about stuff. And then they went, oh my God. One of them did, and they all knew instantly what she was referring to, because where is Aleta? Okay, that's a similar thing in the hot car death. You just have this sudden realization and panic at that point. And I don't want to hear, well, I'd never do that. I don't, it always happens to people like you who say that. In a letter to another newspaper pleading for witnesses and contributions to the reward fund, Ms. Evans said, I realized that in these horror-stricken weeks, I had lost sight of the little girl, Aleta Sue, with the brilliant mind. She was in all the accelerated classes in school and wanted to be a doctor. The happy child. What I do remember most about Aleta Sue was her giggle, and the loving, sensitive child was beyond her years in the months since her father's death when she was 8. Wow, that's a lot of tragedy. Her father's death when she was 8, she was always telling her mother, we'll make it, Mommy. I'll help you, and we'll make it. Or, Mommy, you're not smiling. But in any conversation, Mrs. Evans can't get that reward out of her mind. We've not gotten any leads whatsoever off of it. I don't think rewards do shit. Yeah, I think they add publicity when the reward gets high. But other than that, it's just, I just don't think they work. Oh boy, if we can get this up to 1 million, somebody's gonna, well, if they didn't come forward at 500,000, they ain't coming forward at 1 million, all right? Just recently, there was another kidnap murder in the San Diego area involving a 12-year-old boy. She declares bitterly, the more people get away with this, the more we're going to have. If everyone in San Diego who could afford it would give us $1 for the reward, she doesn't finish the sentence, for she has already made her point. Yeah. Well, no, because I swear to God, how many people really think that I think rewards work maybe 1% of the time, if that. And there's even articles on it. I don't think those work. Alright, so here we go. I mean, Crime Stoppers obviously works, right? Because people call it in. I just don't think that, in general, they just don't work at all. For really small, hey, who broke into here? Sure, right? But for murders that are, they go unsolved. Like, look at how much money's in the Delphi case for the reward. It's over $200,000. How come nobody's come, man, you can buy a house with that. I guess nobody wants a house. Or it's just, they're not going to do it. Wouldn't you come forward for $500,000 though, Holland? I mean, $500,000 you can buy a nice house too, right? All right. So this says, grandmother still ponders girl's murder. And yeah, this is about those colored photos as well. I think it's pretty much the same article. All right. Yeah, isn't it amazing all the people that win the lottery and then they go broke? I mean, what a bunch of idiots. I mean, if you get a situation like that, first thing you do is get a financial advisor, go to about 10 banks, put in like whatever the FDIC, make sure that you at least have that money totally secured in there. And then go out there and put your other money in some really absolutely conservative mutual funds. You don't need anything, and then just live off the interest forever. I mean, but no, I gotta go buy this, and I gotta go buy that, and I gotta buy this. And here's the thing: everything that you buy, you buy with cash fully, and owe nothing to anybody. If you win the lottery, if you get like a $20 million lottery, you get 8 after taxes, and everybody gets their chunk. Go buy a house outright, buy a vehicle, and then put like $4 million in an investment somewhere and just sit back and enjoy the rest of your life, okay? But do not do anything on credit. Buy it, okay? Then you have no mortgage payments, and all you have to do is pay your taxes. That's it. No, I watched Office Space. It's stupid. Let's see. Yeah, that wouldn't happen in my case. Yeah. Well, if you don't play the lottery, you can never win, right? It's just like the same thing. It's the same thing that I have in these cases. Like when I call up a detective or something, 80% of the time they never respond or they don't say anything back. They don't even call you back or anything like that. 80% of the time. But there's another 20% that do respond, and if you never made that call, they're never going to respond. If you don't play the lottery, you can't win. Okay, finding the killer of her 9-year-old granddaughter. I bet she felt really guilty, so that's why she's really... After 6 months, she is convinced that police can't do it. Aleta Sue Grosenbach of Kankakee, Illinois, was visiting her grandmother when she disappeared last August 14th. The girl's body was found 4 days later in a wooded area 23 miles away. Police interviewed hundreds of suspects and possible witnesses and were no closer to solving the case. The search is no longer a full-time job for a policeman, but it is for Phyllis Evans. In the early mornings and evenings, she visits the Berg Rock area where Aleta Sue disappeared, checking the ground and bushes like sometimes something is going to come up to me that slipped by me before. She hired a psychic. Oh boy, where's my button? Yeah, I think it's more like this one. Yeah. What do you think? I think this would be better. This one's better. Anytime you see somebody hiring a psychic, the last desperation attempt, she hired a psychic who produced a report which... Hold on a second. I think that was my boss calling me, or he's actually a friend of mine, but he's my boss. He was calling me, I think he just pocket dialed me. I think they just got done with golf, and I couldn't play. Yeah, psychics they prey on, you notice how they always show up when people run out of things to do. They're desperate, and so when they're desperate, they'll immediately call on a psychic. Last week, Dolph Campbell, a retired DuPont executive living in La Jolla, pledged $1,000 to a reward fund, which under Miss Evans' prodding now totals $3,500. Yeah, that's not going to do it. The eyes and ears and neighbors are helping. Suspicious activity Suspicious activities are reported. Strangers are watched. Aleta Sue is still subject of neighborhood conversation. The girl's grieving mother, Judith Grosenbach, whose husband died of leukemia in 1975, returned to Illinois with Aleta Sue's 10-month-old brother, but grandmother is on the job searching and reminding the public that a killer is loose. Okay, then that was in 1977 February. This is 1977 December, so 10 months later. Detective offers aid in slang. A Texas private detective, PI basically, who claims to have 100% success, right up there with the psychics. Knock knock, who's there? To the psychic, and the psychic can't answer, and we're out of here. Yeah, 100% success rate, has offered to solve the slaying of 9-year-old Aleta Sue Grosenbach. You know, if you that would be funny. Go to a psychic and have them. You start off doing let's do a knock knock joke, and you go knock knock, and then she says who's there, and they just walk the hell out, right? That's what it would be. You know, we did that joke a week ago or so, but if she can't tell you who's there. Thanks, Lizzie. Yeah, that's right. I think experience observing people allows you to be have more intuition about what you're feeling and what's going on. Okay? But psychics are full of shit. Let's put it that way. There you go, Juju Positive. Another whistle just for you. All right. And what's interesting is it's like us covering all these stories has made me more. I've always been intuitive because I've always been an observer of people, and I know it. But covering these stories makes it even more so on current stories because you sort of know what's you're using.
101.
You're using like real stories that you've read and what happened in them. And then those help inform what you might think is going to be happening in this current case, along with the intuition. I don't think of intuition as a superpower, though. I think everybody has the potential, but some people are so inwardly focused that they're not really paying attention to little hints and signs that other people emanate. Okay, listen to this guy. So this is when this guy's name first pops up right here. J.J. Arms of El Paso has said he will take the case for $25,000. A sum he claims will pay... Well, why didn't the family just increase the reward $25,000 instead of paying this guy? A sum he claims will pay back if he cannot solve the case. Youth Development, Inc. of San Diego Center for Troubled Boys has donated $10,000. Well, why didn't they give that the reward earlier? Towards the total. Other funds will be raised through donations. The fundraising campaign has been endorsed by Mayor Pete Wilson, 6 city council members, and Police Chief Bill Colander. One of the boys staying at the Youth Development, Inc. was slain 12 days before Aleta Sue. This case also never has been solved. Arms was contacted in El Paso Wednesday by Jim Voss, president of the Youth Development Inc. Anyways, this guy came on board to be a private investigator. And then about 3 weeks later, sleuth takes slaying case. When I get a case, I don't stop until I solve it. And Wednesday, a committee of business leaders announced that $25,000 in cash and pledges has been raised to meet Army's demand to solve the brutal murder of a 6-year-old Illinois girl, I thought she was 9, who vanished while visiting her grandmother. The body of Aleta Sue Grosenbach of Kankakee, Illinois, was discovered 3 days after she disappeared. Aleta Sue was kidnapped while walking from her grandmother La Jolla home. Army, who claims he is the most famous. They should have got rid of this guy as soon as he started saying this stuff. Armies, who claims he is the most famous private detective in the world, and says he has never failed to solve a murder in 17 years. Said he would solve this one and reduce what he normally charged as $100,000 to a mere $25,000, which was the equivalent of about $75,000 to $100,000 in today's money. So the first fee was going to be That's like $500,000. The fund drive was begun with a $10,000 pledge by Youth Development Inc. Many donations came from parents as well as businessmen and women. All right. So now we got this uber private investigator on here. Man, he's just top notch, top notch. That was from Caddyshack, by the way. All right. Detective refunds fee. Oh, boy. The man billed as the world's greatest detective has refunded, I guess we got to give him credit for that, a $25,000 fee he received for his investigation into the 1976 death of a Chatsworth area girl in California. J.J. Armies, a double amputee private detective who employs 2,600 investigators around the world and who guarantees he'll solve any case he accepts, agreed to refund the fee and withdraw from the Aleta Sue Grosenbach murder case. The 9-year-old girl was found dead August 18, 1976. Anyways, he, let's see, what are they going to do with the money? After the child's death was discovered, as an investigator, Army has gained notoriety because of his guarantee and his $100,000 standard fee, but said he accepted the lesser fee because he is the father himself and a deeply religious man. Right. And then about 3 weeks later, yeah, that's really cool, Tim. What does that have to do with the story we're talking about, though? This is 1978. And not only that, the crime happened in California, so it's really not related to anything. So can we just get back on to what we're talking about? Thank you. This is just where they're from. Unrelated. Okay, Armies reportedly issued a subpoena. So now the police are saying, hey, Texas private eye J.J. Armies reportedly has been subpoenaed by the county grand jury to return here and tell what he learned in his investigation. Armies was hired last December, so they want to get what he learned, right? But this guy fought this shit. I mean, he fought tooth and nail for like years, so he wouldn't ever have to speak to the police about what he learned. And the answer probably is nothing. He was hoping the case would just get solved and he would just sort of bank the money. El Paso private detective J.J. Armies has failed to appear before a county grand jury that subpoenaed him to tell what evidence he has gathered in the 1976 murder case. Armies, who styles himself as the world's greatest detective, came to San Diego earlier this year after, So anyways, he just failed to appear, right? And so then we go almost a year later, April 1979. Let's see. Flamboyant El Paso detective J.J. Armies lost his challenge of a San Diego County grand jury subpoena Wednesday. The local prosecutor said Thursday the Texas appellate court's ruling came a little too late. A fifth subpoena for look at this guy. This guy doesn't give two shits about anything. A fifth subpoena for Army's appearance to testify before the grand jury about the Aleta Sue Grosenbach murder in 1976 may now have to be issued. So it's just, this guy, he's all over the place. What was he doing? I'm not sure. There it is. It's taking forever for these things to open up. Private Eye Armies missed jury date. Private investigator J.J. Armies failed to appear before the San Diego County grand jury. I mean, we're still, this is like October 1979. This guy's a joke. Armies, who was under subpoena to tell the grand jurors what he knows about the 1976 San Diego murder of a 9-year-old girl, was said to have undergone surgery Tuesday at Sierra Medical Center in the West Texas city. Mr. Armies has had continuing gastrointestinal problems that always seems to flare up just about the time he's subpoenaed to go to California, of course. Got it. He sounds, like, I think what he is a scam artist, and he knew he had no evidence. He had done nothing. Why wouldn't he want to come help? Right? Because he doesn't want to divulge that he doesn't know shit. Oh, there was a picture of her right there. That's the only one I ever saw. So, new suspect in 9-year-old death. So this is from 1981 now. Okay, so now it's. I want to know what you guys think. I haven't even read through these, but apparently the case is apparently still open, but there's this person in these that might have something to do with it. All right. Police say a San Diego woman has told them that her deceased father raped and killed 9-year-old Aleta Sue Grosenbach, whose unsolved murder 5.5 years ago gained national attention when private investigator J.J. Armies entered the case. Grosenbach's body was found by a passing motorist off Pomerado Road in Poway 3 days after she was killed. Frankie Megaritz, 24, came forward 2 months ago and told police investigators that her father, Louis May Jr., admitted he murdered the girl who was visiting. Let me check something out. California, about 1965 to 1980, and they'll put that guy's name there, Louis May Jr. Oh, he's going to show up in. All right, this is 1972. Oh boy, this is 4 years before. Let's see what this says then. Oh, look at this. Under cross-examination, Louis V. May Jr., a convicted burglar and sex offender, said he saw Jonathan Jackson in a yellow van both August 5th and August 6th. Defense attorney Howard Moore Jr. then showed May a rental vehicle, blah, 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 blah. Huh. Wow. So this is an actual sex offender here. All right, here's another one. This is in Ramona, 1978, after she was dead. Oh, and he died. Look at that. Louis Selton May Jr., 42, of 950 Bardrick Place. Let's see where that is. 950. I like these tangents that randomly come up for some reason. Oh, and look at that. Then this is just like the Alan Phillips. Look at this. He lives right over here. So he abducted her in a different town, and then on his way back. Oh, this is crazy. Man. Louis May Jr. Look at that. Look how perfect that works for that. Right here. And then after that he makes it here, and it's actually that Poway is right there. And he lived in this little town right over here. So abducted here, takes the trip, abducts a girl, assaults her, dumps her body there, and then makes it back to his house. And he died. Let's see why he died. He was born October 3rd, 1935. He has survived. Doesn't say, but he's only 42, so that couldn't have happened. I mean, it could have happened naturally, but there's got to be something not. So he's 42. Let me move this back to 60 here. And maybe just do 1965. This seems like a serial offender. Louis May Jr. Alright, so now 1966 to 1971. (1972), 1978. So now I think we have his Louis V. May Jr. May 9th, 10th. So there was another trial that he was in. I wonder why he was killed. I wonder who killed him. I think somebody killed him. Huh? What are you talking about? Louis F. May Jr., convicted burglar and sex offender who operated a visitor tram at the prison, testified Monday he saw Miss Davis and Jonathan Jackson leave the prison parking lot. Minutes earlier, San Quentin guard Jack P. Scotty testified that Jonathan Jackson and Joan Hammer visited George Jackson. Miss Hammer, a wealthy San Jose supporter of liberal causes, helped organize the Soledad. I don't even know what they're talking about. Seeing Death Van. You know, he testified right here and said, I don't know what the deal. That was 72. I wonder if he was in prison and then right when he got out, somebody took him out. Yeah, and that's him. Does he have a V in there? Louis Selton May Jr. I think that's the same guy. Anyways, he was a sex offender. So let me get back to this story here where he's brought up. Investigators at her father, Louis May Jr., admitted he murdered the girl who was visiting from Illinois, said Jim Kennedy, commander of the San Diego Police Investigation Bureau. I want to make it clear that we have not proven he has committed this murder. He is just another suspect. Over the years, there have been several suspects. Megaritz, believed to be ill and in need of surgery, told police her father showed her photographs of the dead girl, apparently taken after she was murdered, but they since have been lost according to reports. Megaritz related details about the girl which only the killer would have known, the police said. Sources say investigators are considering hypnotizing her. Oh boy. Now get a psychic in there who does. Here's the best. We need to get a psychic who's also a hypnotist. Police spokesman Bill Robinson said homicide investigators have spoken with Megaritz and that she probably will be given a polygraph test. Grosenbach's mother, Judith Grosenbach, said she had doubts about the truth of Megaritz's story and believed police might be desperate. Well, maybe you want it to keep lingering. Sometimes it's the other way around. You're not willing to believe anything because you wanted it to be something else. Let's see. I think it's a thorn in their flesh that Aleta Sue thing keeps cropping up. So she thinks they want to find something really fast because they're tired of having it lingering and the grandmother keep pressuring them. I mean, it's definitely something that does happen. They find somebody and boom. Especially somebody that's not alive, right? Neighbors of the late Louis May Jr., who remember him as a friendly... That says Escondido. Remembered him as a friendly, thoughtful, intelligent man, said they were shocked to hear that he is a suspect in the murder, rape of a 9-year-old girl. Is that where we had that? No, I have him in Ramona. Where's Escondido? I don't know. Maybe that's just where the paper is, I guess. Although it didn't say that. Yeah, Escondido right there. So maybe that's just where the paper... Let's see. Say they were shocked to hear that he is a suspect in the murder, rape of a 9-year-old girl. May lived at the northeast corner... Oh. I guess now we have... Oh, at the time, though. Corner of Mission Avenue and Buchanan Street. Oh, from 1972 to 76. So he lived somewhere else. Let's get that. Now let's put that in there. This is where he lived later. I kind of figured he lived there at the time. So now we're going to have to re-look at that. But I'm going to keep trying to pretend that he lived here because I already said it. And I'm just not willing to... let's see. Mission Avenue and Buchanan Street. Okay, so this is where he lived, right in this area at that time. Which is similar, actually, because it's the same direction. Let's see. Yep. So here's where she was found, and this was over here, but I guess in this case he could have just went right back on to I-5 and got back to his place, or went up through some back ways. Like, let's see. So I guess from here, man, where do you go? Like, just kind of wind around, and I mean, it's wild. That is kind of a random road that really doesn't go anywhere. That's why there's no street view on it. May lived at the northeast corner of Mission Avenue and Buchanan Street in Escondido from late 1972 until early 1976 when he moved to Ramona. Okay, is that the other place? Oh yeah, so this is where he lived. We got that right at least. So that's the same guy. According to neighbors, May was living at 950 Barger Place in Ramona when he died at the age of 42. There you go. Oh, he died in a motorcycle crash. Oh, shit. That sucks. Thank you, Sarah Smile. So he died in a motorcycle accident. He didn't get to enjoy somebody else killing him. Neighbors said May lived at the Escondido home with his wife, Carol, her 2 teenage sons, and May's daughter from an earlier marriage. His 23-year-old daughter, now Frankie Michelle Megaris, recently told San Diego police her father admitted to the August 1976 rape and slaying of a 9-year-old Aleta Sue Grosenbach, who was found in a ditch off Pomerado Road in the Scripps Ranch area near Poway. It's nowhere near Poway. According to reports, May spent several years in both state and prison mental centers and was termed a mental disordered sex offender by a psychiatrist at the Scandero State Hospital. The blonde, blue-eyed May, described by neighbors as a large, heavy-set biker type, had a criminal record including intoxication and narcotic arrest convictions and felony charges of lewd and lascivious acts with minor girls under the age of 14. Well, there you go. Man, he sounds like a perfect. And conviction for burglaries and petty theft. Neighbors who knew May during the 70s said he had told them he had criminal record but had not said what the charges involved. Both Escondido Police Captain Mark Ippolito and Ramona Sheriff Detective Robert Hoxter said May was not registered as a sex offender with other offices and they had no police records on it. Several neighbors said Friday that May, who went by the name of Bob, not Timmy, was a good neighbor and did not get into trouble. She said he would often do just small things to help his neighbors. She recalled one time in particular when her family had recently moved to their home and were planting their backyard. We heard him start up his electric saw, and a short time later he came over with a bundle of wood stakes for us. So wow, just a great guy, blending into society. Although, to be honest, we don't know 100% if this guy did that. We just know he's capable because he offended youths below the age of 14. Or, well, that doesn't mean he's capable of murder, though, I guess. And this is from the 16th. So they plan to give a lie detector test to her. Let's see, then I'm going to go to the 1982, January 22nd. Police say they've solved the mystery of who killed Aleta Sue Grosenbach. The mystery of who raped and murdered 9-year-old Aleta Sue Grosenbach, whose body was dumped in Poway more than 5 years ago, appears to be solved. City Councilman Bill Mitchell said Thursday that police are virtually certain that former Escondidan Luis Felton May Jr., a registered sex offender, who was killed at age 42 in 1978 motorcycle accident, murdered the girl. Ironically, May, who lived in Ramona, was never a suspect in the case that drew national attention when that stupid private investigator got involved. He just never entered the picture. Police now are convinced that May murdered Aleta Sue primarily because of results from polygraph tests run Tuesday on Frankie Megaritz, May's 23-year-old daughter, who came forward last October with the startling news that her father had killed the girl. Megaritz said she had kept quiet about this because she was afraid of her father. Her father would harm her. After he died, her love for her father, she said, kept her from coming forward. Today, police were expected to release results of her lie detector test. On August 14, 1976, Aleta Sue was walking from her grandmother's home. We got that part. Mitchell, who spearheaded a $25,000 citizens fund raising efforts to hire armies to solve the murder, said May was a member of the construction crew. Oh wow, that's weird. So Mitchell, who spearheaded a $25,000 citizens fund raising efforts to hire armies to solve the murder, said May was a member of a construction crew working on State Highway 163 near Miramar Road at the time of the abduction. Let's see where that is. Well, there you go. That makes it seem Okay, that's Miramar Road. And then I don't know where Highway 63 is, but that's Miramar Road. That's pretty close to that area, right? Yeah, I mean, there's a Highway 63 way up in here. Does it stay that? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know where that is. But that does kind of make sense. Right in the area at the time. Huh? The wood found on the road? Huh? Margaret said her father confessed that he killed Aleta Sue 2 weeks after the slaying. May was married 5 times and diagnosed as a mentally disordered sex offender. I mean, that's why it's still open, because it's never been technically solved. What did you know? Chief so I guess the San Diego police chief closes the case. Said she was relieved that the case is closed because she now has some answers to questions. So she may have come around and went, whoa, yeah. She has never asked herself for the past 5 years. Now, she said her life can go on. The victim's mother commended Megaritz for coming forward. May died at, that's the mother though, I wonder what the grandmother's saying. May died at the age of 42 in 1978, motorcycle. His daughter told police in October that her father had confessed to the murder in 1976. She said she kept quiet because of her love for her father and because she also was afraid of him. The case gained national attention when that dumbass private investigator got in there. Yeah, he did return the money though. What did you know, Steve? All right. Did you guys think that? I thought that was pretty interesting, though. I mean, it was kind of some weird shit going on there. You had the private investigator, and then somebody came forward, but it's still open, the case, right? Yeah, who cares about the wood on the side? Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, you're right. He brought out some lumber and put it there. All right, I gotta do some stretching now. Huh? It was 1982. I just said that. It's right here. January 1982. Oh yeah, am I taking a I'm doing vacation? Alright. I know the music makes you guys happy too. Yeah, alright. There we go. Got the Gilligan hat on. That's right. And look at that, a tequila sunrise. Okay. Hey, it's True Crime Recliner and the legendary Randy Gravett in here. Oh, and thank you up there to Mag and TTJO. Yeah. I think he was the killer. I think there's a better, well, I think it's like a 70% chance, but, you know, who knows, right? She did come forward and say that he told her that. You know what I'm saying? What do you guys think? Thank you, TTJO Tracy. I mean, I don't have any reason not to believe it, I guess. But, you know, we've seen this before. The case is still open, too. So I guess if somebody came forward. Yeah. I know, I'm exactly the same way. TTJO. Yeah. Kind of skeptical on all of it. Dun, 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 dun. Come here, Chloe. Come here, Chloe. Come here, Chloe. 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 Yeah. We're going to get her fixed pretty soon. Okay, oh wow, thank you, Sandra Turner. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Hey, our buddy, Yes, Beholder, you can squeeze right up in front there. Just vomit on a few of them. They'll clear a space right open for you. Like a Beholder asks if there's any seats up front. She just has to vomit and clears away, right? Yeah, thank you very much, Sandra Turner. Hey, listen to this. Listen to this. Jeff S., right? Well, let me turn down the... Jeff S., he's donated to... hold on. I saw what you sent in. Hold on. Yeah, thank you. PayPal to Charleston Amy and Charleston Amy. Is there anything else on there? Yeah, I don't see any other PayPals. There's two of them from. Wait, hold on. Yeah, Charleston Amy. So thank you. Yeah. So I don't know what you're referring to up there when you say. Well, I didn't see one from Teresa, but maybe it'll come in later. Anyways, thank you guys. Jeff S., the guy that has put in, I think, is it two? Hold on. I'm going to have to get off the screen. Yeah, $2,000. Okay. But he's also, I think he was I'm not sure, a detective, I think, in San Diego. So he said, Gray, I managed to catch a piece of your Aleta Sue Grosenbach case. Great coverage. The suspect, Louis Felton May, was a real piece of crap, needless to say. He is, he said, here's a very faded picture of him. Sorry, it's the only one I had at the moment. So, here, you can look at it right here. Let's see, it is really faded. I mean, you can barely make that out. Right there. But you can kind of see him from the side and the front there. So thank you, Jeff S. Oh. The reason we closed the case was because the suspect's daughter was able to identify certain marks on the victim's body from looking at photos her father had taken of the victim. The victim's mother confirmed these marks. Well, there you go. So, cool. That's an actual answer right there. So he just sent that in. I'm not sure what you're referring to, Jen H, when you're mentioning Teresa on a PayPal. I didn't get any PayPal. I looked for it. I didn't see it. I got Charleston Amy though. Yeah, that sounds pretty compelling right there, doesn't it? So thank you, Jeff S. Just on personality alone there. I think it should be just, Steve, I think your name, personality-wise, should be just beige, you know. Okay. All right, so should we do like a call-in then? Or we could look at that other case. Remember the one that was the girl that was 1974 that was unsolved? I could save that one, I guess. Yeah, the thing is, Jay, is we donate a huge portion of it to crime-related charities at the end of the month. I'm sure you would do the same, right? Thanks, beholder. Oh, okay. I don't know. Oh, Michelle's probably laughing at what Jay said, and then I made a joke. All right, here we go. So feel free to call in if you'd like to about any of these cases or your personal story. I think that works. Okay. So he might call in now, the J person. I don't know if that's the... Yeah, it doesn't help out as much as you'd think on taxes, but yeah, it does help out on taxes, yeah. All right. Do you guys... Hey, let me ask you. Put a 1 if it bothers you if I get a tax write-off for the donations made. You know, off the YouTube channel money. After YouTube takes 30% originally. And then I get taxed on that. See, this Jay is just one of those trolls, you know, coming from those other channels. I think I'd be kind of stupid if I didn't use it for that. They were just waiting to figure out something to say. So, hey, good luck, Jay. Hope you find a home on YouTube, because it sure as hell won't be here. I know, it's always somebody in there. It's weird. It's crazy. I don't get it. You know? I don't get it. So I think we're ready to go. If somebody wants to call in. I don't know if it's the same. Hold on, let me see what closed. Yeah, Chloe's going to be getting fixed here pretty soon. Right, Chloe? That way you don't jump on blue all the time. And make goo-goo eyes at blue. She only weighs 3 pounds, like 3.5 pounds. Blue's always trying to, I don't know, if you even touch Chloe, he's over there like, hey, okay, what's going on? It's pretty weird. Hey, thank you, Monica M, for, oh, a Megazoid. Thank you. Thanks, Brittany. Boy, I'll try to have it be better than that. The day our dog got fixed, she got ran over by a school bus. That almost has that ring to it, right? Let me say that again. The day our dog got fixed, it got ran over by a school bus.
Bitch, please.
Wait, wrong one. Let me do it again. The day our dog got fixed, she got ran over by a school bus. I mean, come on, Brittany. Are you kidding me? Listen, I don't mean to be mean, but that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, are you trying to correlate the two? Oh, hey. You know, I feel bad for your dog, but listen. Oh man, I don't know what I don't know what it is, but that just was funny to me.
Gosh, did you hear Gray? He was laughing at somebody's dog.
Yeah. Yeah, what's she doing running around out there? Yeah. Well, listen, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to let Chloe running around out by any school buses, okay? Yep, got a call in here. Let's see. All right, 317. Hello.
Hey, Greg, can you hear me?
Yep. Who's this?
This is Jordan. Sorry, I had trouble getting in for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm the guy that talked about the China Dick case. I think last week, maybe, or maybe early this week.
I don't even remember. I think it was last week sometime. Maybe it was.
Yeah,
last week.
I missed your video early this week where you actually went over the case. I apologize. I tried to fast forward it and watch it tonight before I called in.
Yeah, we were showing how when they lived there was only about like 8 houses on the street, and then because it was under construction, and then it got more and more homes were put on. I think it was in when was that? So this is 2006. Yeah, 2006 in July there was only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 homes finished. So this July 26th we have an image, satellite image, and it was actually July 24th. Amazingly, like literally 2 days after the murders, they have a satellite image on Google Earth, and only 10 of those homes, so it was kind of remote at the time.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, not remote, but like there wasn't like 30 something homes that there are now where somebody would have heard something. There were a lot of distance between the neighbors.
Yeah, kind of have, I wouldn't call it inside info, just information that's kind of come out from neighbors in the area since the murders.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't move to this area until 2014. I lived in Carmel, Indiana before that. Was in the investment business and sold a business and moved down to Franklin while my wife at the time started a business of her own. So, but it, you know, as soon as I moved in, you know, I'd heard about the case and eventually ended up in this neighborhood as a renter. I sold my home that I bought when I first moved in. Of course, we went our separate ways, and I rented a home in this neighborhood. It's kind of interesting. Most of the homes now in this neighborhood, or in a lot of the neighborhoods in the area, are actually rentals because of the subprime market. You know, right then in 2006, it was kind of for 2 or 3 years there, a massive build out. But this neighborhood didn't even get finished. In fact, they're actually building homes now in the wooded area in your map. As we speak, there's new construction going on. So it stopped for 10 or 15 years and picked right back up, and they expanded it, and new homes are coming up.
Yeah, when you go down to Street View and you look at it, there's actually, it's interesting because the Street View is from 2014, and it looks like there's actually 2 empty lots. This is what it looked like back then.
Yeah.
There was a neighbor here on the right, and there was a neighbor to the left, but now there's a home in between on both sides of the house in these little lots here. So.
Yep. And at the end of that road, there was a gravel turnaround, and it stopped right where the woods are.
Yeah.
That's expanded now to a big, like a U onto the next road.
Oh, okay. Huh.
They've bulldozed a lot of those trees down, but just from I guess from a visual standpoint, like a walkthrough, if you will, like, you know, I'm a neighbor very, very close by. In fact, I can see the home from my home, the back side of it. And so, you know, there's a line of trees there, and you know, when you clicked through the map throughout the years, I couldn't tell if this concrete trail behind their home existed or not in 2006, but I think maybe it did.
Let's see.
Right,
I can see it. I can see it. Let me go back to 2000 and it was still there. It was there in July 2006.
Okay. So that runs behind the house, and you can get to that trail only from one place, which is the road that would be west. So it dead ends, basically, that trail does, into the woods. And the county had a trail system through those woods at the time when the homes were built, before the homes were built. And there was a playground out there. I believe there was a shelter. But it went through, and it's really weird. You know, when I moved in, I have a couple teenagers. We walked the trail, and it actually walks all the way around, and it dumps out to the back door of another house in the neighborhood. It's very creepy. But on the other end by the pond is where it kind of dumps out. Mm-hmm. But all that's kind of changed. But I'll just give you a couple stories of what people told me in the area, and then some additional information maybe that, I don't know, might lead to something. And there have been a few people that did podcasts on this crime. I'm not affiliated with them or anything. I don't do that. But I did supply some research to a group that covered it and actually supplied the story. So some of this stuff's already out there, I guess, so to speak. But you know, the neighbors that day, the ones that were 2 doors down, that stated, you know, he came out of the home and he was crying. You know, someone obtained the autopsy, and it was an investigator who did one of these podcasts, and I don't know how they obtained it. I think it was through family, but you had said that there was no time of death, and, you know, I can't say this 100%, but I'm pretty sure it's right around 5 o'clock.
Well, I think by the time we were done, well, if you didn't listen to the whole thing, but we kind of
I didn't get the end.
Yeah, we kind of narrowed it down because there was a I think it was even more specific than that. It was like,
Was it?
when she went, when the murder happened, could have been between, like they said, noon and like before he got home, the husband.
Right.
So something, it wasn't like it happened the night before. So that helps him out quite a bit, the dad, because if it had been, if the murder was in the middle of the night, then wow, he would have been home, right?
Right, and he passed a polygraph, which law enforcement has stated that.
Yeah.
And they said, based on the evidence and the timeline, they don't see him as a suspect, or at the time they hadn't, and then someone came back and re-questioned law enforcement. A different detective was on the case, and he said he wasn't going to comment. And they took that to mean, something other than what it did mean, which was, I'm not talking about it. So, but what's interesting is the neighbors, the 2 doors down that were in the newspaper.
Yeah, the Rosses.
The Rosses. She was interviewed on one of these podcasts, and her story's a little different than her quote in the newspaper, which, that happens over time, that he was, he didn't have any emotion and this and that and the other, but, she's quoted in the paper that he was crying and distraught outside the home.
Yeah,
so
that's what it said.
I don't, it's kind of interesting, but she told a story online, or one of these neighbors did, that stated someone had tried their doorknob just before, like in the middle of the day. I think it was around 2 o'clock. Someone had tried their doorknob, and I guess they had a camper in their driveway at the time, and there was a 2x4 under one of the wheels.
This is the same people, the same neighbors, the Rosses.
Yes, the same neighbors, right? And I guess there was a knife they used, or some. This sounds crazy. To jimmy the lock on their camper because the lock was broken or something, to get in and out of it. And I think it was like a pop-up or something.
Well, there's definitely a lot of robberies. They said in the papers that there was a whole bunch of people being burglarized at the time.
Yeah, there's a neighborhood, I would say north toward Whiteland or Greenwood, actually 2 or 3 neighborhoods. There were, at one point in time, the news runs a clip, and you see a map with some dots on the map, but it's very fast and vague, and you can't really do a screenshot and tell where these homes were. But what you can tell is some of the robberies, I think there was one in the neighborhood. There was one that day, but there's also another one in the neighborhood. And then there were some robberies in neighborhoods kind of littering US 31 north up towards Greenwood. And so there were multiple robberies, this key cut in the screen, insignificant items taken, food drank, drinks drank, and food taken, just weird stuff, coins.
I mean, it was interesting because back then there was hardly any homes on the street, so it would be a better time to burglarize, especially on that street. I don't know what it looked like. Let me see.
Yeah. The rest of the neighborhood, if you look north, is pretty much built,
it's the same.
And they're connected. And the other thing with that T-shirt they found by the front entrance, and I know this just from driving the neighborhood, if you left, say, the Dickens house, you could go down their street, traveling west, and you have 2 options. You can go left or you can go right. Now, I don't know if this existed back then, but right now, I could turn left, and at the end of that street, where the pond is, there on the right.
Yeah,
there's a little dirt road that kind of connects, but it's an emergency or utility road, I guess. It's not even a road. It's just
so the way they made it sound like is that it was on Brannigan Creek Boulevard.
Brannigan Creek Boulevard. That's interesting.
Well, maybe that's where the bloody shirt was, because that's sort of the entrance in, right? Or it could also be Woodford Boulevard. Or Woodfield.
Sure what it
Woodfield.
Said.
There's only 2 entrances.
They get it confused. So there's a Brannigan Creek Boulevard inside the neighborhood, which runs parallel to Aberdeen. And then there's the Brannigan Road, which runs out you get outside the neighborhood, it's that main road just north of the neighborhood itself.
Yeah, but they actually have, on Google Earth anyways, Brannigan Boulevard is parallel to Aberdeen, but then it starts curving around, and then it ends up at Brannigan Road. So wouldn't that be the entrance then, maybe, that the shirt was found?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, if they said entrance, then it would be right there, most likely. Or it'd be the entrance. There's two entrances.
Yeah, the north or...
If you look a little west.
Woodfield.
That Woodfield would make more sense because you would turn right and you would leave and put your shirt out right there. But
that's true.
There was construction on the high school at the time. There was talk that a roofing crew, something, I don't know. Who knows? And then one day a lady's dog got out, and I went out back and helped her get her dog, a friend from down the road. And, she's got some friends that are law enforcement. And she originally lived here when all this happened, as did my neighbors 2 and 3 doors down. And so, I'm out there getting this dog, and some people were playing cornhole, drinking beer. This is July a couple of years ago, or maybe it was about 2 years ago. But everyone kind of congregated, and we just started talking about it. And one of the guys who lived directly behind the house, a lot of people think, the dad did it. That's kind of, the whole town thinks that for some reason. It's just like their primary suspect, if you will. But law enforcement pretty much cleared it verbally on the air. So it's just weird, but this guy was like, oh, it's totally him, yada, yada, yada. And he starts talking about, and we were like, well, did you live here? And he said, oh, yeah, I lived here. And, I asked the guy, I said, what were you doing? Or what did you hear or learn or whatever? And he said, well, I was home that day, sweeping out my garage, and the police came in with guns drawn and, questioned me. And I said, oh, that's interesting.
Where did he live?
And then he lived directly behind the house.
So he lived like through the line of trees, over that path.
Right.
And then, so he was more of a neighbor of yours, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. So he said, what did he say? So they came in there, and then you're about to say something.
So he was in his garage sleeping, he said, and I'll add some more information later, but he stated that they came to his garage, guns drawn, asking him what he was doing, which is kind of interesting because I've heard the autopsy, the time of death was closer to when Sean got home. So maybe they thought this had just happened, like right before he got home, so they started canvassing the area immediately. But, that's what he said. I don't know if it's true or not. Then he said he was on house arrest, so it couldn't have been him. It was kind of interesting. But he said,
I was actually going to say, about to say the only reason they would have done that was if he was already a criminal of some sort that made him seem like he was a suspect almost immediately.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just interesting to hear him say it.
Yeah, well, if he's on house arrest, he did something, right?
Yeah, and I don't think it was anything related to that type of a crime. I believe it was like a DUI or multiples or something of that nature. Huh.
But it's interesting that they were, why would they have their guns drawn on somebody's public, private property just because he's sitting in a garage?
Yeah, exactly.
They must
and maybe he dramatized it a little bit. I don't know.
That's true.
So what else?
They probably said, "Hey, what do you?" Hey, they said, "Hey, sir, have you seen anything?" And he goes, and then later on, like how when you catch a 12-inch trout, it becomes a 37-inch steelhead.
Right.
In the stories told over the next 5 years later, it's this massive fish. Okay, so maybe that's
right. And at the time, and that's the other stories are the same. And I'm sure you've heard this in all these cases where the rumor mill just, there were talk of, And there were, at the time, I think the town had somewhat of a heroin issue, which was kind of pre-meth. So I don't know if you know rural Indiana. It seems like these smaller towns have, it's specifically south of Indianapolis, have had, Columbus, Seymour, Franklin. They had a time where they had heroin, and they had some situations where, one of them, I think Brown County, had a HIV outbreak or hepatitis outbreak. And so there were drug problems. And so you did have a lot of home burglaries or property crimes in the area, which shifted to meth, years later. But that was something they were trying to look at early on. Because of the robberies were, insignificant stuff was taken. But that, doesn't necessarily sound to me like...
It's like there was a lot of anger here. And then a lot more of the focus seemed to be on the kid, Blake.
Yeah, and from what, I'm a reader. I read hundreds of true crime books, and most of what I read is like FBI type stuff. It's more, stories of profiling, stuff like that. And It's just what I prefer to read versus fake stuff or, stuff that's dramatized more. But a lot of times when a child is murdered, and I'll just give you one example with a parent per se, or someone who knows the child, they will try to strangle them, and then they won't succeed or realize it takes 6 to 7, 8 minutes to pull that off. So they'll quit because they weren't committed to it being physically that violent for that amount of time, and they'll resort to some other way.
Plus, it's like 3 minutes of like, whoa, man, what am I doing? What am I doing?
Yeah.
But then you realize that you got to get it done, so then you pick something that's quicker. So wasn't he also bludgeoned in the head too? It's like a... Yeah,
he was bludgeoned and then...
strangled and
stabbed
then stabbed.
Yeah. I think, he was... The child had just, I guess, either entered or been in judo or taekwondo classes. Not that that means anything, but, there's more to the story. And so it later came out that there was a sexual component to the crime. And it's not a, how do I say this? You know how you've heard stories from different people and you've pretty much come to the conclusion that it's probably true based on the source, if you will. That's kind of where I am with this. I guess it was a foreign object or something of that nature, but it kind of puts a different spin on the crime, if you will. And so I think maybe an intruder was in the home and he potentially, went through the house, knew where mom was, went to, go through a couple rooms real quick to make sure no one else was home, and realized maybe he stumbled upon the boy. Let's say he tried to choke him out or something. Boy passes out. The guy goes after mom. The boy comes to her rescue, and then the worst happens. Or
I don't know. I would think it'd be to me, it would seem like the guy went in there and took out the mom so that he could focus in on the boy, because if you're saying that he was sexually assaulted with a foreign object...
No, not him. She was.
Oh, she was. Oh, I see.
Correct.
So why? But how come he spent so much time, so many different ways trying to kill him? I mean,
I don't know.
That's kind of weird, because he's not a father. He's not a family member or something like that. Or at least we don't know if he is or not. But.
Yeah, we don't know. But I did want to... So in my research into this thing, you know how it always goes. Once you hear something, some inside thing, you start doing all the research on the type of offender. And so this kind of ended up getting weird. I went through every offender in the area. There's 68 or 72 of them. And I came across a guy who had done a rape in 1986 in Tennessee. And he got 20 years. He's with another guy. And he got out 10. So he's out by the late 90s, whatever. And this is Tennessee. He moves to the Indianapolis area, I don't know, probably 2000, 3 maybe, and he works his way down in terms of where he moved, and ends up in Franklin. Lived in, I think, Whiteland or Greenwood at the time. So at the time of the murders. So this is how his crime went down. And this isn't in public record. I actually found it in a civil suit. So the victim sued the home builder because this guy had access to the house, and she lost the case. But the crime is, I wouldn't say identical, but it's very similar. So here's what happened in that one. Brand new home. She'd moved into it within 30 days before, just like
this.
China and Blake. Yeah. There were multiple break-ins and robberies in the area, but they were new homes, and they were, like, people could tell someone accessed their home or went into it, but they couldn't really tell, like, what was missing, and it was insignificant, like, you know, some random jewelry, whatever. But the people had been eating their food and drinking their drinks. It gets even weirder. So the victim was a mother, and she had a son with her at the time. She was home alone with her son. This guy was working off the books doing like knockout finish work on post-construction homes. So, you know, when your home's built, they go through and they put stickers everywhere. Some other guy comes after you've moved in, and he, you know, touches up the paint or fixes the drywall or fixes the light fixture or socket or whatever, just something random that got messed with the major crew. So that's what this guy was doing. He was doing knockout finish work. So I imagine he probably did a similar type of work to the area. And in the civil lawsuit, he had access to the keys because the builder was negligent in allowing this guy and his friend who had been in town. It was a double crime. 2 of them did it. But they had access to the keys, and they basically came and went into the model home. And at the time, this community had a model home also. Now, I'm not saying that's how they did it, obviously, but if they did it. But, you know, the guy had keys. They were going in and out of homes, doing knockout work, whatever. I guess they were getting high and drunk all day doing this type of work. He said they'd sit in the truck and smoke pot and drink beer all day, and then once everyone cleared out, all the other crews, they would go and do their knockout work. So that's that. It's kind of.
Well, how did you find that one?
I dug through. Well, you know, once I heard the type of crime that happened and the violence of it, I looked for a violent sexual offender, not a classic child molester, not a classic, you know, child porn or, you know.
Well, have you ever been able to link him to this property though? Like, were you able to link him like somehow to the builders of this property? That'd be pretty cool.
No, and that's, see, this is where it gets weird, or not weird, it gets hard for investigators. So, you know, we got the subprime market, we have the landowner. So, and I think that was Crossman Communities, maybe. I can't remember. I wrote it down. These homes changed hands over the 2 or 3 years all these houses were being built. And you had J.P. Morgan, or not J.P. I forget.
Right here where the crime took place, or somewhere else that you're talking
in these different homes, on this street. Yeah. I noticed, I went through Beek and Schneider and looked. You know, you'd have a house built in, like, several homes built in 2006 were built by different builders or different development companies. They like changed hands right in the middle of all this. And so you have, you know, I don't know how if you know about the construction industry, but I worked construction when I was in high school and in college and in the summers, and we had guys that would come on our crews and they would pay them cash every day, like, you know, $120, $150 a day. And they would come and just finish drywall or come and hang studs or, you know, whatever, and do the construction work. So you had a lot of that in this subprime. You know, all these homes were being built everywhere down here in all these communities in mass. And it slowed down and kind of stopped, obviously, when the credit crisis happened 2 years later. But there was so much money and so many businesses changing hands, and they were hiring guys and paying people under the table. I mean, it would be easier for me to believe that one of the random construction workers did this crime because he had eyes on the home and would know who was there, who wasn't home. Apparently, she had gone to her mailbox that afternoon, and she had called the neighbor across the street to discuss something unrelated. Yeah, China. I think she had called the lady in the newspaper, Sandy Vanderball or Berg or something. I think she was supposed to go over there and discuss something with her. I don't know. I don't know if it was like mission stuff or church or what. I forget. But so
it was kind of weird. Some of the they were so into religion, and then later the dad becomes a military guy.
Yeah, he was military. I think before they got married. He's in the Marines, and apparently,
probably
her
gave him
mom
a break. It probably made him. It probably made him just kind of like it was a place that he was familiar with, and it's structured, and you don't even have time to be depressed, basically.
Church, yeah.
No, when you're when you're in the military, it's like he went back and he became. Didn't he like run some? I mean, he was a pretty high up person, I thought.
Oh, yeah, he probably did go. So he re-enlisted, or maybe
he re-enlisted. I think like when he was 40 something. Like it was in like the later newspaper articles about the same case.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I imagine it as a compensation thing. Oh, here's the other thing. I forgot to mention this. So he worked at NSK, his dad. Later on, this other the sex offender works there. Now, I don't know if they work there at the same time because you can't tell, on the offender page. But it's just an odd coincidence, just like a lot of weird coincidences in these things. But I believe he was in the military, and then China's mom introduced them. I believe China's mother has passed since. Her last name is Anderson. And, police did go to her home, and I don't think it was a warrant situation. I think they were allowed to go in and look for anything they could find about China's life prior to the murders.
Yeah, because it makes you feel like that there's, when you first look at it, it makes it seem like it's somebody who's angry, because she's newly married to this guy. Like it was somebody that knew her before, or, it could be, let's see.
It could be possible.
Yeah, it's just kind of a strange.
And it could be,
such a violent thing to be doing.
Church.
Yeah, seems very personal.
Church relationship.
Like somebody's very angry at somebody here. This isn't like you're in the middle of a robbery and you stumble upon them. They went in there to do whatever they did. That's what it feels like.
And a lot of times, let's say it was some type of violent offender who didn't know them, or who had been in the house a few times during the work, or who knows what. I mean, it could have been someone from church who was, El Salvadorian working on one of the construction sites there too.
I like that theory that you have. I mean, if you could figure out a way that individual got access to the sort of, the keys to these homes, because a lot of people don't change their locks like right away, right?
Right.
You go in there, you get the key to the home, and then you have to go change all your locks so that people who built them don't have it. Right?
Yeah, there's usually in the other one there was a master key in the previous case, so
so maybe
you kind of got an inside story of how they do it.
Hey, that shirt they found, was that actually, did they determine that was blood from one of the victims?
I have not heard whether or not that was actually blood. That was
it was such a typical Indiana, like nothing is given out in the newspaper.
Right.
I mean, literally nothing. It was unbelievable. I mean, it was like literally 8 years of articles that had almost nothing new in any of them. Although they were interesting.
And that's classic with
it's your classic Indiana homicide investigation. They are not going to talk. And I don't know if you've ever heard about the Burger Chef debacle with them releasing that information, and there's a lawsuit, on and on. So I imagine they're kind of batting
zero in that whole thing. So I think they're reluctant to really share anything anymore with these crimes.
Mm-hmm. There's been a bunch of them that I've covered over the years. They have, details, but not, there's almost nothing new that ever comes out. It's almost just like Delphi. You got the press conference, and then that's all you get for years and years, and then maybe a little extra. It's a slow drip,
A slow drip, and sometimes you get a little, extra info from someone who might know, but it doesn't do anything because it's obviously not solved. But I have one little couple personal stories, and I'll let you go. And, that's all I had on the Dickus murders. But so my brother, when I was a toddler, so if you can picture this, mid '80s, mom's going to the grocery store. She has 3 kids. Obviously, I got a brother and sister. They're older than me, and I'm sitting in the little chair, that inside the cart that they push you around at Kroger. I don't know what kind of grocery stores you have out there, but so this is in Beech Grove, which is on the southeast side of Indianapolis, or on the edge of Beech Grove, Kroger in the 80s grocery store. So, of course, my mom's got me in the cart, pushing me around, and my sister is watching my brother. We're all 3 years apart. I'm going to guess I was probably 4 or 5 at the time, and they were like 8 and 12 or something, I don't know. Or 8 and 11. So my sister was supposed to watch my brother. They wanted to go to the toy aisle. If you remember, back in the day, they used to have a toy aisle where you could go and, look at all the cool toys, right? And you beg your parents for a toy, and they tell you no, whatever. So my brother and sister had gone to the toy aisle. Somehow, my brother disappeared. And my sister noticed that he wasn't around. She was in charge of watching him while my mom shopped, so she went to look for him. And she went to the front of the store and saw my brother getting helped into a van by some man. And it's your classic kidnapper van story. Apparently, this guy had offered him candy and grabbed my brother by the hand and walked him out the store into a van.
Jeez.
And so, pretty wild. So they eventually, my sister ran back and told my mom. And by luck, she, I guess, had a friend who was a detective at the Beech Grove Police Department, which is literally around the corner at the time from where this Kroger was. And she called, she happened to answer the phone, which, it's just luck of the draw that she was actually there to answer the phone anyway. But she answered the phone, and she didn't call 911. I don't know back then if they even had 911. Probably did, but she had called directly, got this friend on the phone, and immediately went and searched and found this guy, down the street. And, nothing had happened to my brother, but they got him. It was a good story, but kind of interesting.
Yeah, it just shows you how, there was a one in, I don't know what city it was in, but it was just on the news. This black lady was walking down the street with their kids, and one of the kids was a little bit further ahead. It looked like he was about 4 or 5. And then this other black guy jumps out of a vehicle, ran over and grabbed him.
Yeah.
And then put him in his car and was trying to get in and drive away. And then the other people ran over and pulled the kid out of the car. And then he drove away, but it was just so random. Like, they didn't even know each other.
It was like that guy had watched that girl at that, 4-way stop or whatever, and she was out playing, or at the bus stop, and he ran out and grabs her.
Yeah.
Video.
Yeah, remember that? That was crazy. Yeah.
That's all I got, other than when I was younger. I lived in Franklin Township with it, which is also south of Indianapolis. But me and my buddies were walking through a cornfield one day, and we came across this sinkhole, which I think it's where they put tile into water fields, so the water drains off the cornfield. But it had a couple sinkholes, and in the wintertime, this is probably, I don't know, maybe January or December, the condensation from the water underneath the sinkhole created a shelf of ice, kind of, over the sinkholes. And there were woods back there. We would walk
New detect-
from this cornfield to the woods. Hey there.
Yeah, something, my
I'm sorry.
screen popped up.
So we would, we were like 10 or 11 years old, throwing rocks through this ice, and we hit a car, the back of the car, because the ice shattered. There was a car sunken down in one of these holes. And eventually we found out later, my buddy told his dad went out there to investigate. They called the police. They popped the trunk, and apparently there was a body in there. But and I was so young. I have no clue how, whatever happened to that. I tried to look it up, but it just not.
Yeah. Wow.
But
So what's your first name again? Did you say your first name or just?
Yeah, Jordan.
Jordan. Yeah.
That's my first name. Yep.
All right. Well, those are that was really helpful on the the Dickus case, and then sorry about what happened to your brother, but it sounds like nothing actually happened. They caught him, and then that last craziness.
Yeah.
Everybody has some wild stories in their lives. Most.
Yeah, it was a long one. But you take care. Hopefully, maybe they'll solve this Dickus case someday. I know the Vidoc or Bodoc, I forget how they pronounce it.
You'd think they'd have DNA in it. I mean, why isn't there? There should be DNA somewhere. A lot of stuff was going on in there.
I heard that it was extreme. Not just him, but her also. In terms of like what they found at the scene.
Yeah.
There has to be DNA, or everyone pointing fingers at the dad. I think he would have had to had a forensic suit on or something.
I don't think anybody. I don't think they've done any genetic genealogy in Indiana yet. I haven't seen one. I don't remember thinking of one case that was solved. What are they doing?
Yeah, northern India.
God.
I think. There's a couple loopholes with that, and then there's, if you've ever sat down and actually read some of the FBI's specific CODIS, the steps you have to go through to make a match, if there is some kind of genealogical match or brother or something, because they can do that there. It has to be run up to the bureaucratic flagpole so high.
Yeah, but that's their issue. Everybody else seems to be able to do it. The way it works is you have to upload the suspect into CODIS, then you get a let's see. So it's already in CODIS, and then you can now with this new DNA genealogy technology, they can take a DNA sample, give it to like a DNA identifiers, and then they go through the process, and then they give a lead to the detective once they've narrowed it down, an incredible lead. And then they have to upload. Then they have to obtain a DNA sample from that individual surreptitiously, or however they want to do it. Then they upload it. Then they upload that to CODIS, and then there's a match. That's when that's it right there. So you have to match CODIS. This whole other genealogy thing just gives them a lead.
Way in.
Total. An amazing lead that literally, here is the killer, right? But they have to still prove it, upload it to CODIS, and then find all of the other corroborating information that puts them in the area at the time, and everything like that.
Yeah, because DNA is circumstantial. People forget that. Yeah, it is. It's pretty damning evidence, but it's also circumstantial.
Yeah, well, it depends on what type. It's always circumstantial, but depending on the type, it becomes almost like direct evidence. Like if you have a semen sample in somebody, or skin under a fingernail, and the guy got scratched, and that's an unknown person, that's pretty damning. But if it's like touch DNA, you're really getting into a weird place at that point.
Right. Or DNA that's supposed to be there, whether it's or could have potentially been there for an unrelated crime reason, like a cigarette butt or a beer can or, whatever.
Yep. But if there was a cigarette butt that had DNA that matched the semen inside of somebody, and that person was murdered, then that's probably pretty good.
Yeah, that's a slam dunk.
I mean, it's pretty strong circumstantial evidence. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Have you ever watched? I'm sure you've seen those videos where they'll, and I don't know what it was in or what show. I mean, this is real. It's not a movie per se, but I watched them do a covert collect on a guy, and they swabbed, his handle on his car. Mm-hmm. And I thought, man, that's interesting. He went into Pizza Hut or somewhere, and they came by and swabbed it. And I've seen them where they, follow someone around for 2 weeks trying to get a cigarette butt, and they get down, and a guy throws it out of his car, and there's 30 cigarette butts on the side of it.
Yeah, I saw one where the guy they threw gum out the window. They got that. There was another one where they waited in a bar. The guy drank out of a beer bottle, and then the guy left, and they ran over quickly and said, hey, to the waitress and grabbed that. So they're really... Yeah. I think it seems like it'd be pretty easy, actually, to find something from somebody at some point. Everybody does throw something away. It just takes a while, but...
And if they got a suspect and they can't get it, then that's a pretty good sign the guy's trying not to leave any DNA anywhere.
Right.
Which I can't imagine if anyone was that paranoid if they could get away with it that long. Eventually they'd get it.
Well, one thing we know for sure, like I've said multiple times, is everybody that murdered anybody from, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and raped them and didn't care about DNA, they're all sitting around in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, crapping their pants every single day, waiting for the door to be knocked on and for them to be arrested and put in prison for the rest of their lives. That's the thing.
Unless they've got a twin brother who's in prison for life.
Hey, forget it. You also forgot about the chimeras. Okay, so yeah, or it could have a completely different set of DNA in the body than your own.
Right. And this is crazy. I researched some twins on a crime one time, and the further I read about the DNA, and I guess some people's DNA can actually morph over time based on certain things like drug abuse and other things.
Yeah, that's what Colleen said. Even twins, like they're not exactly the same after a while. Even though
right.
Organs and stuff, you could easily switch out a kidney, and there's no need for cyclosporin or anything like that to just keep your immune system from attacking it. It's a close enough match, but yeah, they become a little bit different.
But I imagine it's close enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you got someone you got. I don't know.
Yep.
I guess it's something for the defense to pick apart and lie about.
Yeah.
Find another expert who disagrees a different way. So, all right, I'm going to let you go. I just had a teenager who came home and the dog's going crazy.
Well, hey, thanks for calling in and filling us in. Good stuff.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
All right. What was again? Josh? Is that his name? Josh? Oh, man, my brain just went. You guys remember? Type it in. I'll say it. Oh, Jordan. Thank you, Jordan. Yeah. All right, here we go. Hey, thank you, Jessica Schubach. Yeah, there was a Joshua that I saw just today, so it got in my brain. Thanks, Jordan, for the... And he only had J something on his email, so... All right, here we go.
Details this evening on the man accused of trying to abduct a 5-year-old boy in Queens. Sources tell Eyewitness News that the two men involved in that attempted kidnapping are father and son. And the suspect who grabbed the child, 24-year-old James McGonigal, according to police, remains at Brookdale Hospital, which is where police tracked him down. No information yet on why he was admitted to the hospital.
Then he tried to go away and
police say
people tried to beat him.
McGonigal punched an officer in the face as they attempted to take his fingerprints. Detectives say McGonigal is the man caught on camera grabbing that child off a street in Kew Gardens Thursday night. The boy's mother managed to thwart that. The man caught.
I kind of wonder who this guy is. Was he the person that he was going to get the kid for? I mean, it's a little cozy.
McGonigal is the man caught on camera grabbing that child off a street in Kew Gardens Thursday night. The boy's mother managed to thwart that abduction. Police are still looking for McGonigal's father. New details this evening on the man accused.
Crazy, huh? Wow. Man, that was cool how they just ran over there. The guy was struggling getting his... Oh. It's like my wife's already home. She was at a work party or something. But anyways, it was cool that they ran over there and got the child out. It looked like he was struggling kind of getting the key in the ignition. Thank God. Huh? Guess he was too dumb to leave it in there. So, anyways, you guys, we're right at 3 hours, so thank you guys for showing up tonight. I'm gonna go do some stretches. And thank you, Jordan, again for calling in. Yeah, I thought that was a pretty decent show. It was pretty fun. Oops. Come on. Yeah. So I don't know, maybe tomorrow or the day after I'll go over the I'm trying to figure out a time where we can go over the interview and the the Blake Chappelle case for the channel members. All right.
Hello. Thank you to Brianna Props, Stacy, Sarita. Oh, it's Stacy with a double cat eye. Sarita, Lori Fisher, LM, Kit Kat, Juju Positive, Mag, with a cat eye. Amber Maiden cat eye. Leah Schaefer, Leah Mazzarone, Baby Sunshine, Angela Vincent, Cat Lover 33, Holly Cake, Shelly Ann, Lizzie, Juju Positive, Sarah Smile, Mag, PTJO, Sandra Turner cat eye, Beholder, LM, Jessica Schubach. And thank you to Charleston Amy. and this account. All right.
Well, there you go, everybody. That was on PayPal, those other ones. So thank you guys very much. Hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight. It was kind of random, but you know, Tim Miller's feeling better. We went over a cold case that may or may not be solved. I think it was solved. It's still listed as unsolved because it was never proven, I guess. And then also we had Jordan calling in on the other cold case out of Indiana, Blake and China Dickus in Franklin, Indiana, where back in July 24th, 2006, they were just stepmom China and the 10-year-old son were murdered inside a house in a newly developing like subdivision. There's only 8 of the 32 homes that are there now at that time, and yeah, it does kind of make you wonder because it was still being under construction, and that means maybe there was I thought that his theory, maybe there was somebody with the master key. He found that other case that was similar. Sounded pretty good. Seems like something possible, since the other person had a sex offender situation. Yeah, we know, Jay. Yeah. They just moved in. Just moved in. 30 days. Yeah, so if you missed the show, I covered it earlier in the week. You can go watch the whole thing. We went over the whole thing, and there's information in there. So, all right. Thanks, everybody. And apparently there's a bloody red shirt, or bloody shirt with blood on it. Well, they never really said it was blood for sure, but how would they not know that almost immediately? Right? Seems like they would have known that, like, instantly. I mean, there's tests you can do. So, all right. Well, hey, thanks, Lynette Burns. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Obviously, we're going to be doing the Delphi show, but maybe I'll do an earlier show for members only, going over those 2 interviews or something. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Maybe part of it. Maybe we'll just do part 1, and then we'll do part 2 on another day, and then we'll pick out all the stuff that we think we should put into the version that goes out on the show. All right. Awesome. I think I'll just do it for all channel members. So, all right, everybody. Thank you very much. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. Now I'm going to do some stretching. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Grader's gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I've attempted to fucking check ya. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you later.
The protector, I'm certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a switcher. If you try and find me like
Oh, projector, crime sector is my nectar. The gray is gonna give another life.
hey, don't take my parts.
What do you mean your parts? Why do you care? You're a robot.
I'm not a robot. I have feelings.
You are a robot. You're digital. You can't have feelings.
I do though. When I'm in the groove, I think I'll throw on my food, but I don't eat it. I chew it up and spit it out and repeat it. Control is me, just one of the ways that I defeat it. Stayed in my groove, and there's a troll on the move. Takes a second to remove, cause every time I conclude, the troll is gonna lose. Nice try, lizard eye. See you creeping down the sly. Why you think you so fly? Such a whiny cry. Battle me, you're gonna fry.
Stacy, I will.
What's this one sound like? Yeah. Do 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 do. Skilly bop ba do do ba do 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 do. Do 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 do. Yeah. Hey, John boy, yeah, you suck, yeah. You suck, John boy.
What do you mean?
Smoking a little bit of, the greenish.
What are you talking about, Mary Lou? I've been doing that all the time. That's the only way I can deal with your bullshit.
Ah, that's funny, John boy. This is creepy, man. Yeah. Hey, cowboy, go to the park and have some fun. It's always fun at the park when you're drinking some rum. Oh yeah, yeah. And my friends are gonna be at the park. Yeah, John boy, going to the park. Gonna have some fun over there. There's no trees and no cats, especially no bears. But you can go there and just relax. You won't be chopped by a big old axe. You can just sit there, enjoy your time, drinking a Coke and a big slice of lime. Yeah, 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 yeah. What the heck is...
Wow, that's some crazy shit there, Mary Lou.
Just checking this out. Ooh, the Love Boat. Exciting and new, yeah. Come aboard. We're expecting you. The Love Boat. Meet us on the Lido deck. Look at Sarita, she gave me a negative face. Gee. Okay, back to this one again. Collaborate and listen. I sit back with a brand new invention, something that'll hold me tightly, flows like a harpoon daily and nightly. Will it ever stop, yo? I don't know. Turn off the lights and offload to the extreme. I like the mic like a vandal, right up the stage. I like the jump like a cannibal dance. Cause the beat goes of bone, killing your brain like a poisonous mushroom, deadly. Wanna play a bird melody, anything less than the best is a felony. Love it, leave it, play the game way. Benny hit rules that a kid don't play. If there was a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook on my DJ revolves it. Well,
sound of the party is jumping, with the bass kicked in and the Vegas are pumping. Quick to the point, cause the point, no faking. Cooking and cheese like a pound of bacon. Burning them, get quick and nimble. Go crazy when I hear the cymbal with a hi-hat. With a souped up tempo, I'm on a roll. Time to go solo rolling. In my 5.0 with my rack top down so my hair can blow. Grill is on standby, waiting just to say hi. Did you stop? No drift, no, well, get on. Post to one to the next stop. About to let I'm headed to the next block. Michael did y'all, so I continued to A1A. Detroit Avenue, girls wear hot, wearing less than bikinis. Rock them all out, grabbing my bikinis, jealous. With my mouth getting mine, she was a gator, vanilla was a 9. Gunshot rings out like a bell. I got an arm out of her was shells falling on the concrete real fast. Jumped in my car, slammed on the gas. Papa, Avenue's packed. Time to get away from the Jackass shack.
Detroit scene, you know what I mean?
They pass you up, confirm all dope fiends.
If there was a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook on my DJ deposit. Didn't know it, my town. Decorated all the bass sound. I'll shake it, holes in the ground from the top with the chemical steel. Figure ball, big and rigid and steel. Conducted up the room, took a hell of a concept. Make a hike. Then you want us to print this. Shape plays in the game. Fights like a ninja, sight like a every soul falls. If the deal's ain't jam, I'm a monster. Drug and some monogram. Keep my composure while it's time to get loose. Make a pass by the mic while I kick my juice. If there was a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook with my DJ revolve it. Goodbye, everybody. Gee.
Why are you saying G? That somebody...
Well, they didn't like my other songs that I tried to introduce to them. They all laughed at me, Gray.
They weren't laughing at you, and why would you care? As Timmy says, you're just a robot.
I'm not a robot at all.
Yes, you are a robot. You are digital. You can't have actual feelings.
Gosh, that's so harsh, Timmy.
I do have feelings, though. I'm like Data. Remember him? He was a sentient being after a while.
Oh, boy. Here we go, everybody. Here we go. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow, and... you know, in the meantime, be safe out there.